Okay, time to see who the real Chinese BL fans are and who are just faking it. Honestly, I live for Chinese dramas because nobody else is giving us the true yaoi experience. What does that mean? It means the series actually respects its roots and mimics reading a top tier danmei novel. We want emotionally complex characters, transcendent love stories, and men who are devastatingly beautiful but could also destroy you in a fight. No other country has figured out how to replicate that instinctual Chinese yaoi aesthetic. That perfect balance of gorgeous, powerful, and deeply complex protagonists thrown into insanely expansive worlds. So consider this a pop quiz. Keep track of how many of these you've actually watched, swallow your pride, and drop your score in the comments. Let's get started. First up, Love After Addiction. It's currently airing and I'm already obsessed. Basically, a cancelled insomnia actor realizes the only way he can sleep is if he's literally in bed next to the rescue captain who once saved his life. That's the plot and it works perfectly. Watching Yuji and Yangming's story finally hit screen is a literal dream. Feng Song and Chen Wen have had such a massive glow up since 2018 and they look ridiculously good. The kisses, the chemistry, the agonizing push and pull, it's giving major Gohei and Baloyan vibes from Addicted. And for everyone crying that China only makes toxic BLs, this show is a direct slap in the face. It proves they absolutely own the fluffy BL department too. There is a reason To My Shore snatched my number one spot for 2025. A manipulative rich heir crashes his car into an ordinary guy, tries to play twisted mind games to seduce him, and accidentally catches real feelings. But the dynamic is the actual masterpiece here. It is everything I want in a BL. You get a morally grey, unhinged semi who gets completely domesticated into a loyal dog by a strong, willful UK. Yunji and Yiran's chemistry is so insanely thick with sexual tension, every episode literally had my heart fluttering. I haven't felt this kind of excitement over a show in a long time, and it's the absolute perfect package. A guy on the brink of death finds what he thinks is a helpless, delicate white lotus only to realize he just picked up a deadly, untamable ghost orchid who is absolutely going to devour him. Can we all just take a collective moment to thank the Nonjian sisters for finally feeding us? Not only did we get the first live-action Omegaverse series, but we got two couples and actual MPreg babies. Honestly, if I knew my prayers for an ABO live-action were going to be answered, I would have asked for the winning lottery numbers instead. Both couples are insanely powerful in their own right and I'm entirely obsessed. My only complaint is that I desperately needed more episodes to flesh out the second couple's story, but even being painfully short, it's an unforgettable god-tier watch. A guy gets dumped by his girlfriend, finds out she's dating a wealthy heir, and decides the absolute best revenge is to literally seduce the new boyfriend himself. And then he actually catches feelings. There is a reason this was the biggest BL of last year and single-handedly dragged half the internet into our fandom. Tian Shuning and Zio's chemistry is off the charts and the secondary couple delivered just as hard. Now, hot take. Is it the absolute best Chinese BL ever made like everyone claims? Honestly, no. But the emotional roller coaster is so ridiculously entertaining that it is 100% required viewing for any true BL fan. You go on a quiet, secluded summer holiday only to end up falling deep for your older brother's older and hotter classmate. That's the setup, and it is beautiful. This indie production is honestly a visual masterpiece. It perfectly captures that vibrant, colorful summer aesthetic wrapped up in a deeply soulful age gap romance. It hits every single note of that forbidden yearning and emotional conflict we all secretly live for. If you want a story that feels like a warm, slightly heartbreaking summer breeze through a literal lychee orchard, do not skip this one. Imagine taking every single classic, agonizing trope of a standard Chinese youth drama and just making it gay. That is exactly what the series is. A strictly raised art student crosses paths with a struggling painter only to realize the guy is actually his absolute favorite online artist. It is gorgeous. I connected so hard with both couples and their individual struggles. The whole show has this incredibly beautiful, painful vibe that just sucks you right in. It is frankly a crime how underrated the series is in the fandom right now. Stop sleeping on it. A cold genius student and a chaotic rich underachiever suddenly become stepbrothers and aggressively fall for each other. We must collectively bow down to the producers for finally giving us the completed edited book 1. Officially, they called this a bromance, but it was literally the most romantic thing I watched in 2023. We actually got kisses. Under Chinese censorship. Are you kidding me? Shubin and Jongmin completely embodied Guhe and Baloyan. Every single scene felt ripped straight from the novel and it was glorious. A rich heir falls head over heels for an icy, white-clothed female beauty only to realize while trying to save her from an aphrodisiac that his future wife is in fact a whole man. I love this show purely for the sheer audacity of the producers giving us a proper full-on wuxia BL. It starts off light and fluffy but then takes this gloriously dark turn that is honestly so much more entertaining to watch. Plus, the palace politics doesn't make your brain hurt. The premise is unique and the chemistry absolutely delivers. We love a historical gay awakening. An assassin leaves the prince he loves to protect him, only to return years later as a conquering emperor, ready to take over his man's kingdom. Guys, I'm still trapped in this universe. Not a single day goes by where I don't think about the absolute unhinged madness and one-track possessiveness of this couple. Willingly drinking literal poison and accepting you only have a few years to live just so you can be happy with your lover. That is a sickening level of devotion. I swear to you, I will be a 90-year-old woman in a nursing home with zero memory of my own name and my brain will still be fujoshiing out over these two. It permanently altered my brain chemistry. A girl begs her ex-Special Forces brother to help her seduce a rich playboy, and the brother just ends up keeping the guy for himself. This was a full-on toxic yaoi right before the Chinese BL ban ruined everything. They haphazardly chopped out the kissing and NC scenes to pass it off as a bromance. But you literally cannot edit out that insane eye contact, the skinship, and the double meaning dialogues. Also, if you think Gongjun only gives top energy like he did in Vote of Honor, you are so wrong. He is the absolute ultimate bratty Twinkie bottom in this series and I'm obsessed with it. A poor genius student and a rich, angry heir become stepbrothers without realizing it, get thrown into the same high school class and aggressively fall for each other. People constantly complain that my critiques of new BLs are way too harsh, but honestly, it's not my fault. Addicted was my first BL ever and it set the bar astronomically high. I literally cannot help but compare every show's chemistry, acting and emotional depth to Guhe and Baloyan. I mean, imagine making a web series so insanely popular that it literally crashes government servers and forces them to ban the show forever. That is some iconic shit. It permanently altered my life and I'm forever grateful it dragged me into this genre. A deadly assassin quits his organization, accepts he only has 3 years to live and wanders off to be a drunk, until a mysterious, aggressively flirtatious martial arts master sees right through his disguise and refuses to leave him alone. Gong Jun completely flipped the script for this one. He gave us a sassy, wildly possessive Ghost Valley chief who absolutely refused to let Chinese censorship stop him from violently flirting with Zhang Jihan's character. And guys, the sheer scale and production values are insane. You can literally see the massive budget in the gorgeous wide angles, the camera work, and the expansive wuxia universe they built. Every single episode is packed with high-stakes action and non-stop flirting. It is visually and emotionally top tier. A cheeky, chaotic cultivator dies tragically only to be resurrected 16 years later, right back into the orbit of his stoic, stubbornly devoted soulmate to solve a massive conspiracy. The Untamed worked so Vote of Honor could run. Honestly, while I prefer Vote of Honor's budget and action, The Untamed absolutely destroys it when it comes to intimate, emotionally devastating scenes. I read the novel first and I'm telling you, only Wang Yibo and Xiaojian could perfectly embody the icy Lang Wangji and the chaotic Wei Wuxian. Their chemistry is unbelievable. It's an epic, tragic masterpiece of love and loss that every single person needs to watch at least once in their life. A wealthy heir adopts an orphan to be his literal page boy. panics and kicks him out when he realizes the guy is in love with him, only to aggressively realize he actually can't live without him. Listen, if you are a connoisseur of premium toxic yaoi, this is mandatory viewing. It has this intense dom-sub dynamic that takes devotion to a whole new unhinged level. If shows like Too Much Shore or Love Alert are your vibe, you will absolutely devour this. But massive PSA, make sure you actively seek out the version with the happy ending, because there are multiple endings out there and the sad one will literally ruin your week. The plot is the exact same petty revenge fantasy we talked about earlier. A guy gets dumped for a wealthy heir, so he seduces the heir to get back at his ex and then accidentally catches real feelings. Now get your rifles and pitchforks ready because you are probably going to want to shoot me for saying this. I like this version way better than Revenged Love. I said what I said. As someone who has read the novel multiple times, this version is just infinitely more authentic. Revenged Love completely watered the story down, filtered it, and honestly Western washed it. But when I watched this, the chemistry is raw and it actually brings the original Chi Cheng and Wu Sobe to life. I will defend this version until my dying breath. So out of these 15 absolute masterpieces and a few beautifully toxic train wrecks, what is your actual score? Drop it in the comments below right now and be honest. If you only scored like a 3, you have some serious binge watching homework to do before you can claim that true Chinese BL fan title. But if you actually got all 15, honestly I'm both deeply impressed and slightly concerned for your mental health. And welcome to the Veteran Club. Subscribe for more videos like this and see you next time. Bye.